I always say, whoever would have imagined in my craziest, wildest dreams that this little Dutch boy could create such a ruckus.
Edward Lodewijk Van Halen was born on January 26, 1955 in Amsterdam, Holland. Together with his parents Eugenie and Jan, as well as his older brother Alex, Edward grew up in a town called Nijmegen, further east in the Netherlands, close to the German border.
Jullie zijn in Nederland geboren? Waar?
Hier in Amsterdam. We hebben in Nijmegen opgegroeid.
According to Edward, his mother was treated like a second-class citizen in Holland due to her Indonesian background and ethnicity. Eugenie had relatives in the USA, and the family heard stories about what life was like across the Atlantic.
The reason we came to this country is because my mom's side of the family all moved here, and they said, oh man, you can pick the oranges from the trees, and it's a land of opportunity, you know. We said, okay, what the hell, let's sell everything and leave.
Eugenie and Jan van Halen, as it was originally pronounced, thus decided to move to America with their two sons, setting sail at the end of February 1962, when Alex was 8 years old and Edward had recently turned 7.
We came to America 9 days on the boat.
From Holland to New York, my father was in the band on the boat.
And that was our ticket over here.
And my brother and I also played piano during intermission.
Having arrived in New York on March 9, 1962, the Van Halens soon made their way to California. Settling in Pasadena, not far from Los Angeles, the family struggled to adapt to life in America and to make ends meet.
Coming here with approximately $50 and a piano, not being able to speak the language, it was rough.
I knew a couple of words. Yes, no, motorcycle, and accident.
Edward's father, who had been a classically trained professional musician in Europe, now had to find other ways of making a living in their new home. He washed dishes at Arcadia Methodist Hospital and had to walk 3 miles to work as a janitor at a Masonic temple. Meanwhile, for the two brothers, adapting to school life in a new country presented a major challenge.
It was beyond frightening. I don't even know how to explain. Since we couldn't speak the language, we were considered a minority. Alex and I were outcasts, which actually probably made us closer because we had to stick together.
Edward and Alex had already begun playing music in Holland, though not the kind that would eventually make them famous.
It was my mom who cracked the whip. If you're gonna follow your dad's footsteps, it better be respectable, and you couldn't play classical piano.
I never learned how to read music, and I fooled the teacher. I was just blessed with good ears. I'd watch his fingers and emulate what he did.
I remember being forced to do these annual contests, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12 years old, and I actually won first prize every year without knowing how to read.
Eventually, Jan would start earning some extra money by playing on weekends, often taking his two sons with him, playing at venues like the Continental Club on Cahuenga Boulevard in Hollywood.
What saved us was my dad gigging on the weekends, making music.
And my dad had a band called the Rhythmaires. He would take us along the clubs, and you get the feel of what music is really all about.
Edward and Alex had already formed their first band by this point, the Broken Combs, with fellow brothers Brian and Kevin Hill, as well as childhood friend Don Ferris.
We wrote our own songs, believe it or not. I play piano, my brother plays saxophone. We played at lunchtime at Hamilton Elementary School.
As time went on, though, it was clear that the two brothers' interests lay in a different form of music than the one their mother had hoped for.
And then we discovered the Beatles and Dave Clark 5, and when you hear Glad all over, boom, 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 immediately we said, okay, enough piano. Like any kid, we wanted to rock and roll.
Originally, it was Edward who bought a drum kit while Alex played flamenco guitar.
I had a paper route to pay for the kit. It cost like $125 or something like that. And while I was out throwing the papers, Al played the drums, and he got better than me.
So I said, take my damn drums, I'll play your guitar. Worked out for the best.
Having traded instruments with his older brother, Edward maintained that he wasn't instantly a virtuoso on the guitar and that playing it was always something he had to work hard at.
When I first picked up the guitar, there was no light bulb moment or message from God. Some parts came easy and some parts were hard, but I never thought about it that way.
I would sit there hours on end, not go to parties, not do anything, except lock myself in my room and play guitar. Alex would go out with his old lady and come back at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'd still be up playing.
I would make mistakes, and
I would ask my dad, what do you do? And he goes, in Dutch, he'd say, gewoon doorfietsen, which means just keep pedaling through, don't stop, and don't let the audience know you made a mistake. Or smile and do it twice. Then people will think you meant it.